Hi. So this video is more of a stepping through the code and learning as to what is happening here, because there's three different JavaScript plugins and let's say frameworks, or it's sort of template framework that I'm using. Uh, those are involved. So one is this, which is it doesn't mention the name over here, but this one's Malihu Custom Scrollbar plugin. The other one's Gentle Ella. So that's where this custom GS comes in from. I'm looking at this function, which is basically helping me scroll up and down my sidebar, do various things over here, which are not happening very well right now. So I've identified the function which is basically responsible for this, which is this slide up. I went and messed around with the slide up. I put an underscore after it. Now I put that back, so slide up should work fine. And what does slide up do? Slide up will go ahead and once we click on this down arrow chevron icon, it'll help us wrap up the dynamic part of the element once again. So if I click over here, it'll basically slide up this iFrame which is embedded, and similarly over here, this is the slide up part of it. But let's say we were to again comment out slide up, or let's just put this underscore here, comment it, just so that these two calls down here to slide up don't work, right? So that is what I'm trying to do. So let's see, we refresh the page, and again let's see if slide up works, which it doesn't. I already tested that. But that is not what I'm trying to test. I'm trying to test as to why I can't seem to identify this scroll bar which appears in my iframe. Now the scroll bar which appears in my iframe is not the same as this scroll bar, this slight green thing that you see over here. This is the Malihu scroll bar. The one which appears on this iframe is some default HTML something somewhere. So this is the one. And now that I've gone ahead and messed up with my, sorry, not with my function, but the function which is there in the custom JS, which is this slide up, I presume this will not work. So once I click here, it doesn't slide up. It does slide down, but it doesn't slide up. So if I go here,
you have chosen to search and replace substrings or complete text strings within sentences and records.
so that's the text to speech auto function which was speaking.
You have chosen to match similar text bases, text distance measure, and fuzzy logic.
Now if I were
You have
to,
chosen to extract email parts from text strings.
I'll just mute that because that just disturbs everything. So now this slide up doesn't work, so which is okay. So I understand that slide up is supposed to be working in here, which it doesn't. So I'll go and uncomment that, or I'll go and fix that again. So I say let this function be slide up again, which is okay. Now I come down to this part about the scroll bar. Now this is the M custom scroll bar, which is the Malihu custom scroll bar, which is being used over here, which if I were to find it over here, this is where the uh, main scroll bar has been defined within this. Right, and they talk about themes and other things. So this is where the theme gets defined over here, and the default is supposed to be theme light, whereas over here that theme has been changed to minimal. So this was the actual code. I went ahead and put dark 2 over here. Now he said you go ahead and look for the themes in the scrollbar.css. So jQuery.m custom scrollbar, which is Malihu custom scrollbar.css. Go ahead and look over there is what was mentioned. So I'm trying this light to dark to some of these, but I don't know. This function does not seem to change the theme. It sticks to that theme minimal. Now minimal, when I check over here, let me check minimal, if minimal exists. So minimal is there, and it's got right something margin, okay, bottom. I want to change this color so that at least I know that what he's calling is coming from this CSS file. Otherwise maybe he's got a CSS file of his own somewhere, a custom CSS in gentle Ella. Now I don't know, I have not explored that yet, but let me see if I can do something here. So this is minimal, this is minimal dark, minimal again, minimal, background color, background color, background color again, background color. So they seem to be defining background color only, not, I'm not sure if this is, I'm looking at the right thing. So he's defined two background colors. I presume this one's for minimal and this one is for minimal dark. Right. But how does he get that greenish hue over there? So that green which is coming through, where is that defined? I really can't make that out. And there's no point messing with this right now. So any which ways, so that is one issue. So I'm not very sure if this is the scroll bar which is being rendered, but what I can obviously do is that I go and comment out the entire thing, and then I want to see that scroll bar, whether it exists, it doesn't, what happens. So what we'll notice is, and this I have already tested, that scroll bar will be visible, but it will not scroll. So there is nothing which will happen, but that scroll bar is still visible. So then again, I'm in doubt as to where this scroll bar is coming in from. Even though that mouse action which is there on the scroll bar, this one, this mouse wheel, this I've already commented out earlier. So this I had commented out earlier, and I'm not so, which means if the mouse wheel prevent default true, I've commented out, and the mouse wheel actually started working, because earlier the mouse wheel was working only on this large scroll bar, and it was not working on this one here. So let's see if the scroll works. scroll works fine in here, and now the scroll is working in here only, and the mouse scroll is working here also, which is fine. So by actually totally disabling this scroll bar, this green thing over here, I don't seem to have lost much functionality, because my menus are expanding and closing, which is okay. My iframes are scrolling, and they seem to be scrolling actually slightly much better than they were earlier, because earlier I was getting a lot of gap over here in the, no, I think maybe I just think that, I'm not sure. And so here I am able to scroll, but not inside this, and this behavior is different. Earlier, yeah, I can scroll here, but then yes, this something gets hidden down here, so most of my uh, iframe for on column actions gets hidden down there, and if I were to do this for the dashboard, then of course, so this, yeah, so I obviously can't disable this scroll bar, so I go and enable it again. Let's enable this. And check again. So again, it brings me back to my two questions. One, what to do with this iframe scroll bar, because it's ugly as hell. I don't mind using the Malihu one, but I don't necessarily know how to. I'll probably have to find out how to put that and use that inside the iframes. The iframes which are embedded within my sidebar. And the other question is that how to change the theme on this. So this is the theme I'm struggling with, and I went and looked at the GitHub repo of Gentle Ella. Over there, there are issues with scroll bars, but there's nothing which is similar to mine. So again, uh, let's see what can be done. And that's about it for now.